Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox. That's Ben Olson. We're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We have an email here from Lawrence.
Hello! Exclamation point. I took my first official LSAT and scored a 160 at a test center on the August LSAT. I'm scheduled for the September, October, and November LSATs. 160 is a good score for me because it gives me a large scholarship to a safety school, Syracuse, and is good enough to get me into Fordham Law potentially for their part-time program.
Lawrence, based on last year's ABA 509 data, 160 gives you a large scholarship at Syracuse. You don't know what Syracuse is going to do next year with their admissions. So, you go to the scholarship estimator, lsatdemon.com/scholarships. And with your GPA and with your 160, it tells you that last year you would likely have gotten a large scholarship to Syracuse. Just remember that it's possible that Syracuse could deny you, could waitlist you, could admit you with a small scholarship. There's a lot of things that Syracuse could actually do when you actually apply, because schools change their admissions policies and strategies in the market every single year. So all we're ever doing is projecting based on last year's data. And that's great that you think, okay, I'm likely to get a really good offer from this school. And probably you will, because things don't really change that quickly, but they can. And so the important thing I want Lawrence to do is keep grinding on the LSAT, because better LSAT is always better. And two, make sure, Lawrence, that you're not counting those chickens before they hatch, and applying broadly enough that if Syracuse somehow changes its strategies, you've got other safety schools that are likely to make similar offers.
Well, I wanted to add too, you're talking about, hey, things might not change. Let's say they don't change, right? Even if you took Lawrence and copied and pasted Lawrence multiple times
Right.
and had Lawrence apply to Syracuse last year, some of those Lawrences would have gotten in with scholarships. Some would have been waitlisted. There's just a certain amount of randomness here too.
There's a lot of randomness. Yeah. I mean, different people might read your application. It's like you could have, it might be the same person, but you catch them on a good day or a bad day.
A bad day, yeah.
Yeah. Remember that that study about judicial biases, where judges were more likely to grant motions when their college football team had won over the previous weekend?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that, but yeah.
So there's all kinds of ways that this process can be biased. And the one sure protection against that is to just apply broadly with the best LSAT you can possibly get. And then don't make big decisions until you have all the offers in hand.
Yep.
Okay.
Am I reading this?
You are.
Okay. I feel I was playing conservative when I took the August LSAT. For example, instead of using my intuition and answering yes to simple questions in the first 10 to 15 questions of the LR section, I would triple check to make sure I got the right answer.
Very common. We were just talking about this on the Thinking LSAT podcast that we recorded earlier today. If you want to hear more about how people might underperform their practice tests on the official test, we talk about it a lot on episode 471 of Thinking LSAT.
Yeah. Since law schools only take your higher score, Lawrence continues, I think I should be more aggressive on my next LSAT to really go for it.
What?
Okay, you're going from one extreme to the other.
What are you talking about, Lawrence? You're supposed to do your official test exactly the same as you do all of your practice tests.
Yep.
Ain't no go for it. If you're happy with your practice tests, that's when you sign up for the official test. Then you do your official test exactly like you did all your practice tests. No triple checking wrong answers, but also no being aggressive and going for anything. Solve each question like a lawyer. You don't have to solve it 3 times. Solve it once. Pick the answer that you know is the answer. Move on to the next question.
Lawrence continues, on this next test, if I see an obvious right answer, I won't spend so much time second guessing the other answer choices. Is this a good strategy?
Yeah, it is. And that's what you should be doing on all your practice tests, right?
Yeah.
You
So
don't
what's
sit there
good
and
about this, sorry, is what you just said, but not the first part of this sentence. On this next test, you're going to test something out on your official test. Like, go do it today and
right
see
on your
how it
practice
works.
tests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just there's never any be aggressive or really go for it. That's not, we're not ever doing that. But you're going to develop a pace on your practice test that's going to lead to high accuracy and get you through a sufficient number of questions that you can score high enough that it's going to get you the scholarships that you're already aware of and interested in, which is a great thing, Lawrence. Lawrence is clearly on our scholarship estimator, lsatdemon.com/scholarships. Just play around with that and see what different LSAT scores do for your scholarships. I'm glad that Lawrence is already thinking about that. But as far as test strategy goes, all we're ever doing on the official test is trying to replicate what we did on our practice test. And so there's two extremes, neither of which are good. You don't triple check every question. You also don't rush or be aggressive or go for it, because this is lawyer shit. And you have to take the time to solve each question, feel really good about your answer. You've looked at the other four answers. You don't think that any of them are any good. Okay, great. Pick an answer and move on to the next one. I think that's it for Lawrence from me.
Yeah. Same. Email daily at lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.